my first recommendation is to create one common place where you can store all of your documents, all of your presentations, and one place where you can have students sign into the Chromebooks and access right away. That's going to allow them to receive the information quickly, as well as get in a habit in terms of what to do with the Chromebooks when they walk into class. So I recommend starting with a Google site. Now, in theory, we'll call this Caregiver Freshman Seminar. I'm going to go down, I'm going to select a site, or select a template that's already been made for me, and then I'm going to hit create. Now that I've created a website, now I can start building the various weeks that I will be meeting with students. So again, this common website would be something that students could go to every single week. They could complete entrance or bell ringers and exit slips, as well as have access to any of the documents that you're working with on a particular week. So I start with a home page, and really this is a great place to have students go to one place every single time that they're with you, so that it becomes a habit, they know what to expect. But then it becomes a place where they could go through week by week, and they could complete Google Forms as you're building those. So if you are using bell ringers or exit slips, or there's anything with Google Forms that you want to collect from students, now they know exactly how to get there quickly. When building your website, you might also want to include video or actual documents embedded into the site. So here's something that would not only make it aesthetically more pleasing, but also make it really user-friendly for you, so that when you're presenting each week, you know exactly what material to go through. So I've selected a video clip from YouTube, and I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to insert the clip. Alright, now that I've pasted my URL in there, I'm going to hit Save, and then I like things centered, and then once I press Save on my web page, then I'm going to be able to view that video. Alright, now that I've saved, I've got my video right there, and I can play it straight from the website. This is one of my favorites. And then, as I'm presenting to students, we can walk through the different activities that we have for the day. In addition to inserting video, I could also insert things directly from Google Drive. So if I go to Drive, go to Presentations, things that are last modified. So I could insert this presentation directly into the website itself. Again, it gives me the same options as it does with YouTube. I can hit Save. I'm going to center it. And again, I can manipulate or move this anywhere I want, but now I have access to it. And now my students will also have access to it. And I'll hit Save, and it's right here. It's really clickable, it's easy to open, and it's available to students at any time. Now that we've very briefly walked through what you could do with Google Sites, I think the next most important thing to talk about is really how to use Google Forms. And this bell ringer and exit slip, I think, is going to be something that you find very useful, very practical, as well as something that will help you in terms of collecting important data, or on the evaluation rubric, how to show that you're using formative assessment in the classroom. So let's walk through what a bell ringer could look like. Now, I always recommend that when you start making a Google site, that you automatically collect respondents' emails. Their username, their email will allow you to know who is saying what, and you're guaranteed to get an accurate picture of that. In addition, you might want to make a question where they fill out their name. So I'm going to make that text, and I'm always going to make it required so that students can't accidentally skip over an important question. When I am dealing with multiple classes and multiple periods, I might also want to have a part of the form where students say what day it is and what period it is. So, what is today's day? And you could say, multiple choice, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. Again, I'm going to make sure that my question is required. In addition, what period is it? Again, that way it's going to be super easy to sort your data. So you're going to know exactly who is here and at what point. So this gives you several options to collect information from students. If you wanted to take attendance this way, this would be a great way to do so. Another thought that I had is if you want to make sure that students type their names correctly, you might not want to give them free text format. Instead, if we go to edit here, go down to choose from a list. So your name, then you literally from an Excel sheet can copy and paste your students' names. So if you export from Skyward straight in here, you can put their names. Student 2, student 3. Now these would be real names from a roster. But then students will have a drop-down option, so they select their name. They don't misspell it. They don't just put their first name. Then you're guaranteed to get their full name. And that's going to really help you keep track of who is there, who's participating, and what's going on from there. Now, if you want to get a feel for how much they know about careers, before you actually start the lesson, you can ask some really interesting questions. So, what career do you hope to pursue? You can make them open-ended like that, or you could make them multiple choice. Do you know what you want to study college? And then you can give them a couple of options. So you could make it multiple choice. They could say business, education, science, military. If they're hoping to go in the military, you could add another question. Keep that generic, but that would give you an idea of, hey, in this class we are hoping to study in the business field, or we're hoping to go into the military, which could help you tailor your lesson that particular period. Another thing that you could do with Google Forms is you could survey just to get a feel for how many of you know what school you want to attend after CG. What school or vocational choice. You can tweak that question so that it's open-ended for all students, maybe not students that are going to college as well. You could say, yes, I am positive. Yes, I have a few I'm interested in. No, I'm not sure. I have no clue. So then, when you collect that data, you're going to know instantaneously how many students know exactly where they want to go, or how many students really have no clue. So really, the way you use forms in terms of these bell ringers can really help you to foster those conversations and make them specific to the students that you're working with 8th period on a Wednesday as opposed to, 3rd period on a Friday. Now you can play with the backgrounds, and there's lots you can do to make Google Forms a lot prettier. But here's just an idea of what a student would walk through. So if I'm a student in your course, I'm going to go to that Google site. I'm going to go to week 1 since it's the first day, and I'm going to open up the bell ringer. I'm going to find my name. I know it's a Tuesday and it's 2nd period. I'm going to say teacher. And I'm just going to go through and I'm going to fill out this form. I'll hit submit, and then I'm done. My attendance has been taken. I've given you some important information, and now this is what you can do with the response. If you go to view responses, you're going to know that student Stephanie is in this period. I want to be a teacher and I want to study education. When I have multiple entries, I'll be able to sort it so I can alphabetize it. I'll be able to organize it by periods. So if I use the exact same Google form for the whole week, it can be organized literally by every single period that uses it. So you're not recreating forms after form. You're using the same material and same resources, which really saves you a lot of time. Then I can also view a summary of the responses, which would allow me to, if I asked a question about which career you want to pursue, it's going to tell me a percentage of how many students said teacher, how many students said business, etc. If I ask any survey questions like how familiar are you with careers, I would know exactly how familiar students were. So really getting this information, going up to responses, go to summary of responses, is going to give me formative data that I can look at really quickly as the teacher in the room, or I can share out with the students so that they all know, hey, this is how you feel as a class. And so it's a really helpful tool, and it's fast. The last piece of technology that I think will be extremely helpful for you, if you choose to go this particular route, is to create a Google Calendar. And I know you guys have been doing a lot with calendars, which is awesome, and that makes it really easy for students to navigate. Well, you can insert Google Calendar straight into a Google site. So if I go up to Insert, and I go to More Gadgets, the first thing that pops up is that Google Calendar, and I'll be able to select that right away. I can make it a specific size. I can move this around on my page, and then when I press save, the calendar will appear. So again, just another tool to help keep you and students organized. If you have any questions, please let me know. Let me know quickly, as I will probably be gone sometime soon here, but I will be back, I believe, like the first or second week in November, so right around when this is starting. So I'm happy to make myself available and to really help you guys out in terms of how you can use technology. Again, use it to make you more efficient, save time, keep you organized, and ultimately get that information out to students.